Hello there, people of the internet. Getting a little dark out here, but I think I still have time to make myself at least one more video. I wanted to come out here and test this out because I have not tested it yet. This right here is my Smith & Wesson SW40VE, basically a Glock clone, like a budget version of a Glock clone. But last time I had made a video on this handgun, I had talked about how the pin for the trigger safety on this thing, the broken trigger style trigger safety on this thing, the pin would walk out, and you know, I kept having to like push it back in to make sure that the trigger didn't fall off of the handgun, and I was not able to really fix that. I tried JB Weld, but that didn't work. Alright, before we really get started, I want to go ahead and say thanks for watching, but the stuff that I'm doing here is not cheap. This right here is an expensive rifle, and this right here is not cheap ammunition. So I want to say thank you to what few Patreon supporters I have. If you would like to consider assisting me with the work that I do and helping me make future content, consider checking out both Utreon and Patreon, links in the description below. So what I did was I actually, since the trigger was already melted to hell, I mean, this gun has been ran very, very hard. You know, if you want to learn more about the gun, go watch the other video that I had made on this thing. But I actually, since the trigger's already melted, I took a soldering gun and I actually melted the plastic around where the pin is, and I freaking buried the pin in plastic, because I'm never going to take that thing out of there. But I buried the pin in plastic, so hopefully now it doesn't walk out. And I'm actually out here to go ahead and test that out. Now, this is something I find very interesting. I discovered this literally like 2 minutes ago whenever I was coming out here with this thing. This gun, not much of a wobble, not much noise, right? I mean, there's a little bit as the slide reciprocates very slightly as I jump it back and forth. Magazine, nothing, right? But then I put them together and they rattle around quite a bit. Almost sounds like there's something loose in there, right? There's definitely something moving back and forth in there, and I don't know what it is, because I take this out and then it's not doing that. So it's got to be something to do with the magazine locking system, but magazine locking system seems to be fully in place. I have no idea what that is. Maybe just as the rounds are pressed up against the bottom of the slide, the rounds inside the magazine become loose and they start wobbling around. Ah, that's exactly what that is. As I push this down, yep, those are now loose. Okay, so those are just the rounds inside of the magazine wobbling around. So I'm just here to see how well this trigger fix, you know, actually works. It's getting dark. I'm going to try and hit my steel down there. We're at about 40 yards or so. I'm not really expecting to hit it. I can't remember where this thing even hits. I can't remember a lot of things about this gun. I know for a fact that it's a single action striker fired Glock clone, but the trigger on it is absolutely terrible. So we're going to go ahead and try to hit our steel anyway. I'm going to aim center mass, see if we hit it, and if we don't, then I'll just go ahead, aim a little higher and a little higher until we do inevitably hit it. Yeah, actually I think I did hit it. Let me try it again. Nope, I think we are hitting a little low. Let me try aiming a little higher. Nope, I saw some crap and debris fly all over the place. Okay, I think this is the first time I've ever gone out to this distance. Last time I shot it, I was like at 5 yards, and now I'm at about 40. So let me see if I can aim a little higher and see if we can actually make a hit on target. There we go. Okay, so this thing does in fact shoot low. Man, it shoots really low. There we go. Okay, I'm officially covering my target with the gun so I can't really see it anymore. Damn, this thing shoots not that great. There we go. Okay, I got a couple of shots off there, but it seems to hit low enough to where I have to cover the target with the handgun in order to pull off shots. And even then, I see crap on the bottom of the target. That means that we were shooting like the very bottom of that target. So this thing right here does seem to shoot exceptionally low, and that's pretty common for budget handguns. They shoot either really high or really low, just the sights aren't necessarily 100% oriented to what it is that you're wanting to pull off. Not only that, but since I have this ridiculously strong pull, this ridiculously, what would I call it? It's a hard trigger to pull. I'm willing to bet that as I pull that, let me just go ahead and try that actually. Showing clear, by the way. Let me go ahead, pull that trigger. Yeah, I'm willing to bet that as I pull that trigger, I'm pulling the gun a little bit down, and that might also attribute to the gun hitting a little low. But man, that trigger is like awful, awful. I looked up how powerful, how many pounds the trigger actually is. And I saw that it was like 12 to 15 pounds, depending on the trigger that you get. They make kits and whatnot for the triggers, for these things. I might get one down the road, but I'm not really all that concerned about it. But this right here is definitely the stock trigger. And man, that trigger is absolutely terrible. But speaking of trigger, let's have a look here. Good on that side. And good on that side. Yeah, there's not much that can go wrong with this now that I've basically buried that pin in plastic, so it's definitely not going anywhere. If I want it to go somewhere, I will have to dig it out of there. So yeah, I'd say this thing right here is officially good to go. This is actually a pretty decent little handgun for the amount of money that I spent on it. I only dropped about $200 on this thing, so I'm not complaining. 40 Smith & Wesson, pretty potent round too. Anyway, folks, I'd call this a success, but it is getting dark, so I'm going to go ahead and also call it a night. Go have me some whiskey, probably, if I'm being honest here. And probably go watch some old war movies. Like, I know I got Band of Brothers on DVD. I'm probably going to settle in and watch some of that. Yeah, like I said, I'd call this a success. So thanks for watching, folks. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Description down below has a link to all sorts of stuff. Go ahead and go check that out. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day.
Been a little while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garen. It's a shame that bolt action shotguns aren't more mainstream.